Mm,
What's good,
Actually,
y'all? Welcome back. We got Freddie from fucking iCarly over here, bro. Welcome back to Triple Nexus podcast. Yo, I know you guys missed us so much, but we're doing some shit. We're talking about anime. It's Nerd Daddy. It's Birds. It's ND. You know how it fucking is. Let's get into the anime shit. All right. So a huge topic this week was anime versus live action. I know it came about because Tizzy decided to pose the statement rather than a question that live action is indefinitely better than anime because of the reason that live action is a harder medium to perform. It takes more to be an actor than a voice actor, and it's easier to make anime rather than live action to get that perfect shot. So it's more impressive when a live action does it versus an anime, which doesn't really make any sense to me. So I'm gonna pass it on to you guys. I want your takes on it. Do you think one's better, live action or anime? Do you think it depends on the show? And what have been your overall experiences from two totally not biased anime creators, bro? Come on now. I'm gonna pass that bitch to Burns first. Then ND, you got it after, bro.
I mean, personally, I don't understand the comparison because they're completely different mediums. Like, I can understand preferring one over the other. Like, I prefer anime. I prefer anime and cartoons and always have. It doesn't mean that I always am like, oh, anime is 10 times better. It just resonates completely different. But if we go off, like, the metric of, oh, one's harder to do or scenery is different because it's the real world or actors have to put in this much work, then I don't really understand that level because when it comes to making an anime or cartoons, there's so many different factors like the artists, the writers, the voice actors, and the animators that all have to come together for certain things. So when you see like a scene in a live action, let's just say it's supposed to be emotional, and you're supposed to feel something like cry or joy, happiness, it would be harder to express that through animation because there's so many different factors that have to go into it. You need the voice actor to be on par. You need him to be able to sound that out and voice act it without actually being in front of the camera. You need the animators to be able to make that shit look fluid. You need the artists to be able to convey that through a cartoons or a drawings facial expressions. Like they have you feeling emotional over something that's not real. Like not an actual person experiencing them. It's all created. And even when it comes to scenery, it's like the world looks beautiful, but when you see such a well-made drawing, you understand like work was put into this. Like this wasn't a shot that was edited or like a filter on something that's real. Like somebody put pen to paper and created this and made the trees look as if they were real and made the sunlight look fresh and like all that shit. So I personally think anime is better. But if we're going off the metric of like how much effort goes into one, actors, voice actors, etc., then I don't understand how animation wouldn't take that every time.
Totally, totally. ND, let's hear it.
yeah, I just think that like, so I've been thinking about this since I made the TikTok video, and it's like the more I think about it, the less sense it makes. You know what I mean? Like, so the whole thing was like, which one is better, like anime, like animation, or live action? And then like the argument was something along the lines of like, live action is more realistic, therefore it has more depth, and then like live action is harder because like the actors are more skilled. But like it doesn't make sense because most voice actors are actors first. Right? They learn acting in theater, and then they also do voice acting. You're almost never going to see a voice actor who only does voice acting. So if they're a good voice actor, they're also going to be a good regular actor because you're transferring the skill from one to the other. You know what I mean? That's like if someone is like, if you're good at it's like if you're good at drawing digitally. Is my audio fucked?
Let's see, TD's been, but it goes on the podcast. It's good, and me and Bert literally were just talking about it before you came on. How sometimes when the audio cuts out for like every one of us, we just have to like go through because it'll come up on the YouTube video.
Okay.
Bro predicted it.
Yeah, no, because
He knew something was up.
I can feel like an echo. I wasn't sure if like what was going on. So that's why
No.
that's why I said that.
No, you're so good. You're so good. You're so good. I'm not cutting that out. That's fucking awesome. But no, keep going with your point. You're spitting. You're 100% spitting. Keep going with the point.
Yeah, so basically what I'm saying is that most voice actors are also actors. So like if you're a shitty voice actor, you're also going to be a shitty actor. And like if you're a good voice actor, you're going to be a good actor. Right. Then the second thing was like about like realism. But that also doesn't make sense because the whole point of the animated medium is that it's not supposed to be realistic. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So it's like saying that one is better because it's more realistic when the other one is not even trying to be realistic doesn't make any sense. And then when we're talking about like realism, to what extent does that logic even apply? Right? Like if I were to say, okay, in live action has music and soundtracks. Should we take out the music and soundtracks to make it more realistic? Would that make it better? What about like choreography? Should we take out the sword fighting choreography and just to make it more realistic? Because in real life, when people sword fight, it's just swinging fucking weapons till someone dies. There is no flips and choreography or like the angles of the camera moving around. That doesn't exist in real life either. Should we no matter how you put it in science, it doesn't make sense. So it's just
like
these
asking
are
for something that doesn't pertain to it.
Right.
I guess
it's like saying, it's like the other thing. Something I can liken it to is like digital art versus like traditional. Like which one is better? Well, what does that even mean? How do you even begin to quantify better?
You can't.
Yeah, true. It's complete preference. Or like if you're watching a slice of life and compare it to shonen and being like, yo, this slice of life is ass because there's not enough fights and it's not supposed to have. That's an element that's not supposed to have it. You can't take points away from it for
Different
that.
genre. Or this drama's ass because it doesn't have
So it's
enough
like
funny
having
moments.
realism, exactly. In animation, it's like a huge part of animation is being able to portray completely unrealistic things.
Yep.
Right.
Listen. So what struck me most when he did say that was the fact that live action is harder than animation. This is something I feel I'm a little qualified to talk about, at least because I went to school for acting, it's what I wanted to do, and now I'm a bum. So there we go. And so for live action, right, you do learn the medium of in-person acting, camera or theater acting first, and then you usually do voice acting. I did voice acting for a year in school. And it is, in my opinion, harder to get across what you want to or the true emotion that you need to in voice acting versus on camera or on a stage. Because when you're on stage, and if you notice a lot of the good actors or the fantastic actors who want Oscar winners, all that stuff, on stage or on camera or Tony Award winners, the excellent actors do so much less, but they're able to convey that emotion, and it's so much more like intricate to just watch somebody's kind of just small facial expressions and hear it through the inflection of their voice rather than see somebody. Oh my goodness, look at me, I'm a good actor because I can move my hands up and down, yada yada. Versus voice acting, not only is voice acting, it's so hard to convey that emotion when you're like through a character, but you, especially with the medium of anime, not only is it dubbed where you're watching the screen. We literally had a whole lesson on this because I was interested. You're watching the character and you have to talk as the character's talking because you're dubbing over it. So you have to make sure your mouth aligns with what they're saying and your emotion evokes what the character's already saying to you. So it's not the most natural thing. And then on the other hand, even the Japanese voice actors, most of the time, the voice acting doesn't come first. It's the animation that comes first, and they're treating it like a dub where they basically have to dub over the character's like mouth. That shit is hard. That's not fucking easy. That shit is hard, and I truly do think it's harder to be in voice acting than it is in real life. And then talking again, ND, like you said about realism, I'm not fucking watching One Piece because of the realism. Yeah. I'm not watching that shit because I'm like, this rubber boy should not be able to stretch. That bitch was out of the realm of realism within the first 5 seconds of it. You watch the elevated so that elevated can bring you aspects of real life and you can get more into it. When One Piece brings in, like, it's funny, haha, I'm watching this rubber boy laugh. Okay, here's this girl who got kidnapped when she was younger and she's now being forced to be a navigator for this awful person who's kidnapped her and wiped her entire, like, family off the face of the earth. That shit hits different. Rather than live action, when it sometimes does hit the realism aspects of it, like, okay, I know those life lessons because I've lived through those life lessons. Of course, sometimes it's executed beautifully, but when it's taken to that level, I just think it's anime is built different. And I've had way more emotional moments watching anime, like Naruto, like One Piece, and all that stuff, than I have watching like live action stuff. Cried more times watching fucking One Piece and Naruto than I've literally ever cried watching a live action things. It's moved me to tears more.
And I think I want to like add in like, I'm not saying that I don't think that live action, like, generally speaking, I think there are more live actions that are better than most animes, but I just think that's because
Fair.
of the limitation that anime has, in the sense that, remember, the most mangas are seen as, like, expendable, right? When they're being published, and it's all being done by one person. Whereas, like, when you're writing a movie, right, it is, like, multiple different writers all working together on this movie. They could spend like an entire year working on like, a 1 hour movie. Meanwhile, like you have one guy spamming out like a chapter a week, which is equivalent to like an episode. Right? So in like 3 weeks, they've spammed out like three chapters, 4 chapters worth of work, which translates to an hour worth of animation. 3 episodes, right? On the other hand, someone making an hour-long movie would take them an entire year with multiple different writers working on it.
Yeah.
So there's so it's not that live action is better because there's something inherently better about live action. It's just because you have more people working on it, spending more time on the writing, making sure every single thing is perfect. While on the other hand, you have one guy who is overworked, trying to like keep up with these unrealistic expectations, so he doesn't lose his job.
Right, literally.
Yeah.
And to turn around and also call it objective, this whole conversation is subjective.
Yeah,
Even like
agreed.
I took the courses, I took the classes, whatever. That is my subjective opinion that I think voice acting is harder, because that's not a fucking objective. Like, something being more hard is not an objective statement.
Yeah.
That's
Depends on the person.
yes, it depends on the person. That's completely subjective, and on my opinion, somebody like my girlfriend watched Attack on Titan with me, and she was not moved the same way I was, because it's a show. It can strike different things within different people. You might watch Breaking Bad and think it's the best thing ever, and I might think that there are other shows that are better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a subjective conversation, and to turn around and be like, actually, anime is objectively less difficult to make than live action. It's like, that's not correct. You're trying to attach the word objective to an opinion.
It's a false pretense.
100% a motherfucking false pretense, bitch.
And then even like when you like I said, the more I think about it, the less sense it makes.
Exactly.
I mean, like, historical documentaries will always be better than like sci-fi because
Yeah,
it's
'cause it's realistic.
more real. The more I think about it, the less sense it makes.
I don't give a motherfucking fuck about Napoleon, bitch. Let me watch Anakin Skywalker turn into Darth Vader over and over again over fucking watching a documentary about motherfucking Napoleon, bro. But also, hold the fuck on. Talk about realism in live action. Does that mean Star Wars isn't good? Should we take the spaceships and the Force out of Star Wars? What the fuck? I hate people who are on their realism high horse, bro. With art, with everything. Because it's real, it's better. Shut the fuck up. If I wanted realism, I'd walk around my living room, bro. I live with that shit every fucking day. It does not matter. Again, whatever floats your boat, floats your motherfucking boat. But I care more about the heightened than the realistic. Sorry.
And then like another thing that I also remembered was like when they made like the least amount of sense was he said something like in animation it's just like the artist like drawing it so they can draw whatever they want, but like getting really good shots is harder in live action. And I'm just like, you do realize that most of these shots are done with the green screen, and then afterwards, like you have like an artist create the background and then put it on overlay on the green screen. Like they're not actually finding like things that doesn't actually exist in real life. Like
Wait, stop. I was just thinking about the fucking Daenerys shot with the dragon coming behind her. Shut the fuck up. I literally was just thinking that exact same fucking thing. It's not real, bro. This shit's not fucking real at all.
I'll say that makes animation better because we're able to display that with art.
Right.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. No, and it's like, it's also not just about that. It's about the budgets, bro. You're telling me motherfucking Bleach 1000-Year Blood War has the same budget as Game of Thrones? No, the fuck it doesn't. But Bleach 1000-Year Blood War with that limited animation still
pops the fuck off.
Can make fucking amazing ass animation that moves us all to watch that shit weekly, bro. Like, I've also I've kind of watched more live action that have dragged themselves out and have fallen off to the wayside as they've gone on, like Game of Thrones, for example. Then I've watched anime where it's like, dude, I'm still watching One Piece, bro. I'm still involved in this bitch, and it's been going for 27 years. I was still involved in Naruto from the motherfucking beginning in 2003 to when it ended in like 2017. Usually when live actions take that long, usually I am not as interested as I am in the end, and it does fall off. 100%. The better ones are like the shorter ones, but the longer animes, bro, it's because these mangaka just like are on a different planet, and I think you and D touched upon that. Is that it's by themselves, bro, because they know that their story has to be complete before they start writing it. You can fill in the details as you go, but like Attack on Titan, that shit was complete before he wrote it. That shit was complete. You can't convince me of what. Fill in the details as it goes. Sure, I think Naruto's the same thing. I think One Piece is a complete story. I think all of that, and then it's to fill in the details as you go. Whereas these other ones, specifically Game of Thrones, was not a complete story when they started it. The fucking books weren't done, bro. The books were not done, and it showed. You know what I'm saying?
I think even with Game of Thrones, I think it was like one of those things where it's like it was supposed to just kind of be like an advertisement for the book. Like they were gonna just do one season, you know, get some sales for the book and like, leave it there. But then people actually wanted to watch it. But then they were like, well, we didn't know what to do.
Got overblown.
But even like, I feel like any anime original ending would still clear like the Game of Thrones ending.
Oh my god,
and it's
dude,
impressive
Game
to
of
keep
Thrones
people
ending.
hooked on for that long too, with the same consistent like overarching plot. To keep people interested for over a decade like that without being episodal, like just different shit every episode for no reason. Like that's very impressive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's how so crazy. A lot of the stuff is different kind of. Severance, what I'm watching right now, kind of has a very similar, like very one plot point, just pushing it forward. A little bit of different things happen, but it feels like it's very centered around that plot. That's the type of shit I love, bro. I hate when it's kind of like, okay, here's little different scenarios of everybody going back and forth. Like, again, Game of Thrones had all of those characters with all those different plot points. That was, like, pushing forward, you know what I mean? And, yes, it went forward towards the plot, but I feel like they lost the plot as it went.
That's why the book is unfinishable.
Oh my god, yeah.
1 million different points of view.
See, dude, not everybody can be like motherfucking Oda, bro. You can't have a billion different plot points and put that bitch into one after all of these years, bro. George R. Martin.
When you think about it like for real, like bro, like I say you hate to bro, but like mine is like willing to write like like a couple of books with characters with all these different points of views, but like on the other hand, you have like Oda with like 10 times the number of characters, 10 times the number of characters, and you're still putting out
bangers, dude. That's why I'm telling you, mangaka, like, I cannot understand how their brain works. They are some of the smartest people on fucking planet Earth, like, ever. There's still things in Attack on Titan where I rewatch, and I'm like, I fucking miss that. There's no way on planet Earth this was a fully developed plot point before it ended, but then you watch how clean it is, and it's like, it absolutely was.
Yeah, it works.
Dude wakes up on the motherfucking tree. Dude, so this is Attack on Titan spoilers for anybody who's not. This is the ending, by the way. Dude wakes up on the tree where he's buried. Like, just to start. Like, and he sees Mikasa, and he's like, why are you crying? And he died with his head in her hand, sobbing. You cannot tell me that shit wasn't made backwards. You can't tell me that. Like, and they do that shit. They're not doing that for money. No mangaka is doing that for money. Directors for Hollywood, writers for Hollywood, they're absolutely money's a fucking thing in it. You just said Game of Thrones, bro. They kept that shit going because of how popular it was. There's money involved in that. There is no motherfucking money involved in why mangaka start out their stuff. At least you hope it gets big.
Yeah.
But there's so many stories that don't make it big. Like that bitch. Those are just true stories of things that they need to fucking tell, and they feel that they need to be able to tell. You know?
Yeah.
The shit was wild, dude. That was like a perfect 20 minutes to get onto the segue of the next topic. By the way, we're gonna talk now One Piece chapter 1140, bro. Okay, so this is obvious spoilers for One Piece chapter 1140. If y'all have not seen the chapter or read the chapter, the full version just came out today. I'm gonna need you to skip ahead about 20 minutes. I know fucking Burns just read this bitch.
Literally.
So Andy.
Overwhelming gaban.
What?
They were not overwhelming gaban.
No, they were not. They were not.
Hold on. Andy, I want you to explain your point, and then I'll explain mine afterwards, because I just want to hear what you have to say about the chapter, and specifically scopper. Come on, we can talk about the Holy Knights and their design after, because I know you got something to say about that too. Let's start it. Go ahead.
Okay, so boom. I think after I read the chapter, right, in my head, that like the whole like thing with gaban and the key, to me, what I was thinking about was the Naruto bell test. It wasn't. It's not about. It wasn't even about the fight. It wasn't even about actually getting the key. It was more about him determining whether or not they were worthy of getting the key. I think that's why like the Naruto thing. Like, it's not really about whether they can get the bell. It's whether or not the sensei determines that they're worthy to become Ginny, right? And I think like for me, when I was reading that, especially when they did the whole thing, the cutaway to Shanks talking to Gaban, and Gaban is basically saying I want to see them for myself. I want to determine for myself whether or not they're actually worthy. And I think that that's what the whole fight scene was about. I don't think that Gaban was trying out, and I don't think Zoro and Luffy were trying either. I don't think that even if they did try, I don't think that they would have been able to overwhelm him or defeat him or take away the key. And the reason why I think that is I don't think that, and you're not going to like this take.
Off of what?
I don't think that. I'll tell you that. I don't think that. So we know at the very least that Ray is at least mid-admiral level, mid to high admiral level, at the very least. And if we're going to say that Rayleigh and Gaban are about the same level, I don't think that. Keep going?
Yeah, you're good. No, you're good. We're locked in. I
don't think that Luffy is easily or casually defeating somebody who is admiral level. I don't believe that. I think that maybe if we're talking Fujitora, fine. Maybe if we're talking Gringo, fine. I don't believe that Gaban, if he scales to Rayleigh, is struggling against someone like Kizaru. I don't think he's struggling against well, okay, that's one of my guys. He's on the big guy. I don't think he's struggling against somebody like Caesar, for example. Right? I think Luffy was struggling against Caesar. And I think Zoro wouldn't even survive against Caesar. I don't believe that. So I think that if they were both going all out, I think it would be extreme negative, but I still think Gaban is winning.
All right, here we go.
Would win. Okay.
I still think Gaban is winning.
One, I do think it was 1,000% intense. You are absolutely correct. It was absolutely. There was no other way to determine it rather than it's a test to see the key. However, the test to see the key was, are you worthy? Sure, but are you worthy of having this key? Because if you set Loki free, I need somebody who has this key to be able to put him back in these fucking chains if anything happens. There's one person on the One Piece planet who was able to put Loki in those chains, and that was Shanks. Shanks was the person who Loki got off the island, and Shanks brought his ass back. He took him by his hair and said, "Get your ass back on this motherfucking tree." And so
I don't think the whole thing with Shanks, I don't think that it was about strength. I think it was more about whether or not Luffy was actually a Joyboy. That's my.
Which was confirmed. He said, "How do I trust him?" And then he was like, "Oh,
yes,
the white
100%.
hair."
And then he went the form, and as soon as he saw the form, he went back. And whether that's he sensed the hockey or he saw the form and was like, "All right, maybe he can." Whether I don't necessarily it was confirmed that he was strong enough to put Loki back, but I think he saw the form and was like, "This is Joy Boy." There's no fucking way. At least I'm going to believe that he can put Loki back on this tree if anything were to happen. Now, I do think they would have packed Gaban's shit up if they 2v1'd him. If they 2v1'd
in a 2v1, ND.
In a 2v1.
Packed up.
Hold on.
At least
I think
We can say mid.
I think it would be mid to low. Dude, hold on. I think it would. Yes, and hear me out, bro. Zoro, the dude who, when he got Conqueror's Hockey, was able to reorder. He didn't scar him. He reopened this Kaido scar before he got Advanced Conquerors. And then when he got Advanced Conquerors, he put King, he smoked that bitch up and put King in a motherfucking pack, bro. That shit was crazy. And then he got stronger after, right?
But
and then we have that.
What?
What?
King isn't even all that hurt.
King is all that. What are you talking about? Bro's a Lunarian. What are you talking about? Of course King's all that.
For real, he's not.
And then you have Luffy. I know you're trying to say Rayleigh's Admiral level because him and Kizaru were on it. Do we forget what my boy Luffy did on Egghead Island, bro? This man, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about no mental nerve bullshit, bro. If you can't be locked in when a Yonko's in front of you, you're a whole ass bum. Not only that, but it's less about the mental nerve, and it's just more about the fact that if it was a mental nerve and Luffy was getting like hit the whole time, they were like going even with each other, that's fine. It's just the fact it was so fucking one-sided to Luffy Kizaru. If you want to make the argument that it would have been closer if Kizaru was not meant, like if Vegapunk was not there, then that's a totally different story. But it's the fact that Luffy picked his bitch ass up and was holding a Gorsei off like he was a fucking 4-year-old. They both tried to attack him when he was in his hands, and dude just ducked down and fucking beats him the fuck out of both of them, bro.
Clap, bro, literally.
And he's doing it, he's looking at them with no scratches or scars on his face. Like, he didn't even get hurt the whole fight until the Gorsei came in, and then there was stuff that he couldn't do to them. Like, he couldn't hit work around the head or all that stuff.
I don't think that's a fair determination of Kizaru, because I think that during that whole, like, scene, he was very, like, he was in this weird, like, unsure state, where, like, he kind of felt like he had to get rid of Vegapunk, but he also didn't want to, so he was like, maybe I'll let myself get beat up a little bit, so, like, it can look like I'm, getting hurt, and that's the reason why I'm not doing what I need to do. I don't know. I just feel like this wasn't a true show of strength and his actual abilities.
No, I don't, because I don't think...
not 100%.
Definitely not 100%, because when you look at the fights, Rob Lucci in his fight versus Luffy Gear 5 did better than Kizaru in his fight versus Luffy Gear 5, and I do not think Kizaru is weaker than Lucci. That would be ludicrous to say that Kizaru is weaker than Lucci. I do think it would be closer. I think that Luffy would win. I just think it's just again, the feats of Kizaru's right in his hand, and Kizaru tries to laser Luffy, and Luffy still can just dodge it right there. Like, he was just making the dude look like a toy. And again, I think it's closer, but to be like, this dude is kind of not there, and to be able to take advantage like he did while fighting a Gorsei who was hell-bent on erasing Luffy from the planet, while there you had both of them, and still being able to do what he did. I just think
we saw Kizaru go harder as well before Gear 5. You had to accelerate faster than the speed of light.
I think you're also overrating the Gorsei. I don't think the Gorsei are all that strength. And I think the Holy Knights are above the Gorsei strength.
I think they could be. I think that I don't mind that. I think they could be, especially Shamrock. I don't know if there's any Holy Knight who's touching Shamrock, bro. Especially if his strength is even close to Shanks, bro. I think he's gonna be like stupid at the end. Well, and it makes sense because like the Holy Knights are just they're even technically higher than the Gorsei because they're right fucking there next to the Celestial Dragons. They're basically the Celestial Dragon's fucking sword. You know what I mean? And they have to be those guys. Whereas the Gorsei are like they were given the power because of Emu, but they're kind of more the advisors rather than like the fighting force. I feel like the Holy Knights are like the world government's supreme kick-ass fighting force, and to have Monkey D. Dragon turn around and say, we're moving when the Holy Knights are moving, not when the Gorsei are moving, not when the Admirals are moving, not when the whole fucking Navy is moving, the Holy Knights is what he said. Those dudes have to be built fucking different, and I low-key, dude, for One Piece, and for that fucking to hate on the Admiral agenda, I want the Holy Knights to pull up and just pack up everybody on Elbaf. I want those three to literally put everybody in Elbaf on a pack and to take the kids back to Marijois. And then they turn around and they're like, fuck, we're not built for this, bro. Like, I need that shit. Now, why I got so defensive about Luffy is because...
Let me ask you a question real quick. If it was Rayleigh instead of Gaban, would you still have that take?
If it was Rayleigh instead of Gaban, yes, I do believe they would win. I feel like it would be a little closer.
You still think it would be mid to low?
I think it would be more mid to high. I think it would be more mid to high if it was.
So why are you like underrating Gaban so much compared to
because
Rayleigh?
it's more like Zoro. It's more like Zoro versus Sanji. Like if Luffy were to fight Zoro, it would be a high diff fight. Versus if Luffy were to fight Sanji, it would be a mid diff fight. You know what I'm saying? So if Gaban were to fight,
I don't know what you're saying, and the reason why I don't know what you're saying is because.
But actually, I don't fucking understand what you're saying.
I don't think that the parallels work in terms of like strength wise. I don't think the parallels work. Like, I think the parallels work for like here's Roger's Monster Trio, here's Luffy's Monster Trio. I don't think it lines up like that in terms of
Okay.
because remember when we talked about like Gaban holding it down while Roger was injured. So I don't at least in my head, I think that it's like here's this trio, here's that trio, but I don't think that it lines up just like exactly kind of like Team 7 and 7. I don't think it's like exact.
You think it's more close?
Like they're all
then
equivalent.
Then I would probably, if they're more close, I would probably say it's mid for both. Then it's probably mid for both, just because like Rayleigh Shore was putting on a showing against like Gear 4 Luffy, but that was like Dressrosa Gear 4 Luffy, you know what I mean? Being able to pack him up. Like Kaido one-shot Gear 4 Luffy after he got Future Sight. He one-shot him. And Luffy's power gap in that moment went from Kaido one-shotting a Gear 4 Luffy to boxing Kaido in Gear 5 and actually being able to get on a finishing blow. I know Kaido was like...
through the earth.
The earth. I know Kaido at that moment was holding up a fucking island. He fought like 20 people, all that stuff. I totally get that. But it's just to show the power gap that Luffy... How far he's gapped himself from that spot in Dressrosa is like insanity to me. I think Luffy in a one-on-one beats Rayleigh. I think it would be like high diff to extreme diff. I think they would throw hands for days. I just think Rayleigh's kind of getting up there in age, whereas like Luffy in Gear 5, like if Luffy goes all out and his Gear 5 doesn't run out, I think he wins that. Then if you add Zoro into the mix, like Gear 5's not running out. That's for a for surefire win, and I feel like it's the same thing as Gaban. If Gaban was like for instance, Luffy base, when he hit him with the key, Luffy gets hit and just gets up and is like, dude, what are we talking about? Like he just kind of ate it. He didn't really have, he wasn't bleeding, didn't really have any scratches, or like he had like one, you know what I mean? He got his mouth stuffed, and it wasn't like they both were kind of able to dodge Gaban's slashes at that moment before transforming or anything, and he had no idea what was going on. I feel like both of them just locked in on Gaban. Like Gaban, I just don't see him winning that fight, especially in a 2v1. That's just my humble opinion, but I do think.
Okay, but now
I don't see the indicator for either way.
I guess okay. I see where you're coming from. I guess my question is now I want to know where do you rank Luffy in terms of comparison to that old generation? Like, do you think Luffy Gear 5 beats Garp? Do you think Luffy Gear 5 beats Old Man Whitebeard? Like, how far are you like ranking this guy?
When you get him to top tiers, it's hard. In my opinion, it's hard to put him over current Garp because just the stamina. Gear 5 stamina runs out so fast. If it's them, if they're like isolated by themselves, Luffy doesn't have access to like his crew or food or anything like that. That unless he's able to just smother him in 4 seconds, and Garp has no durability, which is not true. Luffy loses that, and it's because of the stamina. I think he's stronger. I 100% do, and their hockey's very similar. It's definitely starting to get up there because Luffy's hockey's gotten like crazy, especially with the Wano training arc. But the stamina difference is not being overcome. Garp is also crazy fucking fast. I just can't see him beating that. Same thing with like characters like Aokiji. If him and Aokiji fought, it would be extreme diff. Just depends on what he could do with Gear 5, but I just don't see him overcoming that because
what about Whitebeard?
Akainu. Whitebeard, same thing, bro. It's like up there. Whitebeard had the shot however many times, fought however many people in Marineford. All of those crazy top tiers have showed their durability is fucking stupid. Same thing with Kaido.
I feel like Luffy should be able to pack up Whitebeard.
I feel like it's if he puts his fucking mind in it and just goes fucking crazy on him.
I mean, that's just purely off of seeing what he did to Kizaru and Kizaru trading blows with Whitebeard. I mean, again, that was the first time we saw Kizaru. Acceleration is power. Gets him out of Gear 4, but then when Gear 5 came out, the acceleration didn't matter. He was able to catch bro and hold him. Mm-hmm. That's something we didn't see Whitebeard go up against at all. He was just getting dogged out.
I think those are the difference between the top tiers, and I think Oda's setting up the stamina to be a problem to be fixed later, so that when he fixes it, he's just gonna be just be able to steamroll over fucking people. And then he's gonna reveal Emu's power and Blackbeard's true power, and then those dudes are just gonna be like a whole nother fucking level of like just demonic. And I think the top tiers that we've seen, all the power that we've seen so far is going to compare nothing to what is going to be like towards the end with the characters whose powers have not truly been revealed yet. Like, there's a reason he's holding Shanks' bitch ass back. There's a reason Mihawk hasn't fucking, like, actually fought anybody of substance, like, at this point. You know? That's just my take with it. Now, why I got so tilted about the Luffy thing is because, ND, you're smart. You understand that the fight was a test, and we can't really truly scale the characters. Like, me and you are scaling Gaban off of what Rayleigh has done. You know what I'm saying? And statements about Gaban based off of Rayleigh. Because me and you are two smart individuals. There were people, the leakers said Luffy got packed up. They literally said in it, Luffy got hit several times, Gaban controlled the fight, and that was it. Luffy didn't do anything, and he needed to go Gear 5 with Zoro in order to end it. That's what the leaker said. That's what everybody on Twitter was like, Luffy got packed up by Old Man Gaban. He got beat in this fight. When the whole point wasn't the fucking fight. They both weren't going serious on each other. Like,
barely
it was
a fight in the first place.
Exactly. That's why I just got pissed. It was like the One Piece community takes every opportunity to downplay Luffy whenever the fuck they can, which makes no sense to me, dude. He's your fucking main character. But like, that's why I got fucking
supposed to support, bro.
Straight up, dude.
You
like,
say that when the fight was technically about to start, the second Zoro pushes him and Luffy pulls out Gear 5, he goes, how can we make a determination about that whatsoever? Luffy got hit once, and it was a key in his jalooper, and to me, it seemed like a little bit gaggy. Like, just supposed to be like, haha, you got a key stuffed in his fucking face. Because then the second things got serious, they avoided his slashes, and they pressed him, and it was over. Exactly. I don't know what to go off of with that, because they didn't really show anything.
They also didn't know who he was, bro. They didn't know he was like, Gaban. Nobody told them.
Take the key.
If they said, this is the left-hand man of the king of the pirates, they would have been like, oh, man. Yo, let's fucking go right now. We're all going. They would have been, Luffy would have been like, yo, because he straight up said at the beginning of the fight, yo, old man, give me the key so I can get back to Luffy and get back to my food, because you're taking time out of my day now. Like, I'm trying to leave. I'm not trying to entertain this. And then Gaban was like, take it, bitch. And then take it then, stupid. And that was like, yeah. But I enjoyed the chapter. I thought it was a great chapter, and I just hate how agendas get put into play when it comes to it, because it's like, dude, can we not enjoy like a funny ass moment without people being like, look at weak ass Luffy, he's not even top 25 in the verse. It's like, you guys are just stupid, and you're making it about shit that's not.
I mean, it's clearly an agenda push, because again, it wasn't even like something where Luffy got, let's just say he got packed a little bit, so it was like, haha, Luffy, he's not all that. It just didn't happen. It was just lies. Like, nothing happened to suggest that.
Like, if Luffy got knocked out when he was in base form against Gaban, then I'd be like, okay, some slander is definitely due.
At least you're
like,
saying
if he's
something
just
true.
On the floor, yeah, like, if his ass was on the floor after the one shot, and then Zoro's like, Luffy, what the fuck? Then I'd be like, oh, like, this dude's different. Because that's the Luffy who was taking shots from fucking Kaido when Luffy was in base, bro. That would be some goddamn power. But, anyway, Andy, do you have anything else you would like to say about the whole Gaban thing? Did I show you my take more?
Yeah, I definitely see what you're coming from.
Okay, word. Fire. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, I feel like you guys are going to have so much fun with this. We had 2 new Holy Knight reveals in the One Piece chapter. 2 new designs for Holy Knights reveals in the One Piece chapter. How do we feel about the designs, especially with the guy with the Kirin fruit? I forget what his name. I know the other guy's name's like Saint Summers or anything.
Killingham.
Yeah.
I literally got it in front of me. I don't know why we're talking about designs like it's an argument. Summers looks stupid, in my opinion. Summers talking from a purely design perspective. He's just an old fat guy.
The old guy? Yeah, but when he puts the coat on, yo, I feel like he's got drip.
It does look drippy. But then we're looking at I'm looking at him right now. That aura is insane.
Yeah, actually, let me see. I found one where someone did colored it. It looks like better colored. Let me send it to you.
Yo, swing that. Because when you said, okay, we're gonna compare designs, I looked at Saint Summers and I was like, why are we comparing this? He's in underwear.
He's literally just an old guy. Like, there's no
design
to be had.
With tighty whities on, pressing up against his gooch. So wife beater.
I'm fucking crying, bro.
I just put it in the group chat. I would send it.
All right, bet. Let me peep.
Looks like an alcoholic.
Oh, it hasn't sent it. It hasn't sent yet.
You didn't bring it through.
Wow, fucking. Come on now, Killingham colored. Let's see if I can fucking.
Killingham colored.
Give it a couple more seconds.
It's Killingham colored. I can see that
or not
going crazy.
Killingham.
It's bro, because you got Cricket Wireless.
I'm fucking crying. But I think I saw it. It was with the blue and there was hints of red tones on his mouth and things like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, I think it went through.
Yeah, it just got
technical difficulties. All right, perfect.
But look at Summers. I think it looks better with the color.
Oh, Summers
That
definitely
actually
looks better with the covering.
The pink jacket is fire.
Okay,
bro.
yeah, exactly.
The pink
And
jacket.
with clothes on.
Dude, people are kind of I do like the Kiringham design. Like, yes, it's goofy with the bubble around his head, but like that fruit's kind of beast, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I had a completely different theory about what that fruit was. I genuinely thought it was gonna be dragon because that mythological creature is based off of somebody who like shoos evil away and is like brought about by like great spirit, the Kirin. And again, Sasuke's like attack.
Sasuke's Kirin.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I thought that's what dragon was gonna be. So somebody theorized that that's what that fruit is. Maybe this guy is going to either defect or he was like taken and was somebody good or something like that, or it's just a little bit of a subtle kind of hint on what his future might be. So I don't know, but listen. I like the dragon design. Like I think it's cool. It still looks goofy, but I feel like his powers are gonna be like dope. And if this guy Summers comes in and he just pulled up looking like an old guy, I feel like he's low-key gonna be a demon, bro. Like,
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like he's
I can
low-key
see that
gonna
meaning that he's
fuck
nice with it.
some people up. You know what I'm saying?
It's always those old alcoholics you gotta watch for.
Bro, he just pulled up no pants, no nothing, and he just went fucking straight.
Alright, let's
for
go
it.
kidnap some kids.
Yo, oh my god.
Wait, yeah.
I think that's like low-key might be like telling us that like here's some text that like he's been in this like doing this for like a long time, which makes me think maybe he was in the first guy.
Maybe.
True.
He definitely could. He absolutely could be. I don't know. I wouldn't see why not. Just because he's old, being a holy knight, like in his prime, you're telling me he wasn't a fucking holy knight, especially if he's part of like that celestial bloodline. Like you're telling me he was doing something else. I just don't think so. I think he absolutely was at that first God Valley. There's a couple of fucking interesting ass theories that came from this chapter. Two things is that Summers talked about the abyss. And T does it, how the kids don't have the mark for the abyss, and it was on the elbow.
Yeah, so they have to sail.
And it was like the circle thing or whatever, so they have to sail. People, there was a theory going around that Shanks, when he was a child or whatever, that they give that mark to people at birth who are going to end up being holy knights. They like group them since birth to be holy knights. That Shanks had it on his arm, and that's the whole reason why he let his arm get taken by the Sea King, was that he can get rid of it and fully get rid himself of the Holy Knights when he saw Luffy and knew what he was eventually going to become. There's one. And two is that this one's mine, which Summers asked Shamrock what he was doing if they were visiting King Harold's grave or not. Now it could be a joke and I could be looking into it more, but I think King Harold was offered the position of Holy Knight before Loki, and I think King Harold was going to take it. I think he was going to take it. He was going to offer up the devil fruit that was in his family in order to make his country affiliated so that the world government would protect them. Loki found out, fucking killed that dude, took the devil fruit for himself and ate it, and now that's why they're not killing him and want him to be part of the Holy Knights, is because if they kill him, the fruit goes back. The fruit goes back into the fucking world. They want him as the Holy Knights because that's what his father promised, but I think Loki's making everybody believe he's evil so that he can keep his father's legacy up and not let everybody know what's going on, like, about the whole fucking thing. I don't know, man.
He said, let me spit some shit real quick.
I don't know, man.
So let's
Monkey D Quell's been fucking rubbing off on me, bro, watching this fucking video.
You didn't say it. Let's theorize for a second.
Let's theorize for a second. Let's theorize for a second, bro. Damn straight. Just a couple thoughts about that chapter that I wanted to leak out or everything. You know what I'm saying? How do we feel about that, boys? Do we have anything else to say about this One Piece chapter?
Feeling good.
Feeling good?
I'm ready for Burns. You got anything too?
No, I'm feeling pretty good. That's all my comments.
Feeling fantastic?
All right, I'm not the entire lore buff. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm not like that. I can't analyze bro's armpits and connect it to what the One Piece is. But
listen, bro,
I'll let y'all handle that.
You need me to connect the fucking somebody's left meniscus to what the mural means. I got you, bro. No problem. I got this with this motherfucking pen. Dude, this podcast, we're going 20 minutes into our 3 fucking subjects. Let's move on to the motherfucking
so we
next
segmented.
one. We segmented, bitch. Trios. So, Burns saw a tweet, made a video about the tweet. We got to talk about the tweet because I've made videos about similar posts beforehand. We got dudes who love to make those graphics or whatever, talking about anime main characters. Which one's gifted, which one's genetics, which one is hard work, all of that stuff. And I just want to say, y'all have got to shut the fuck up about that. shut the fuck up. I'm gonna pass it to Burns on why you should shut the fuck up, because I know he's got some shit in his pocket about it.
Hold on, because it's so simple too. The major thing, every time a post like this is made, like, okay, what characters are purely genetics or purely talent, and which character embodies hard work, which, again, first of all, fuck Rock Lee, because Rock Lee caused this bullshit over fucking 20 years ago. That shit needs to stop. Almost every character in every list that's made has worked hard. It's never actually someone that's completely benefited off of purely genetics, or they're just like that from the beginning off of talent. It's always people that have worked hard, and they're like, nah, but he got a little bit of this in episode 1, so that means nothing fucking matters. Somehow, for some reason. Like, a character could literally get poop. Like, shit, make that shit a good ability somehow, and they'll be like, nah, but he was given that. Like, as if he wasn't given something that doesn't benefit him to the complete end of the series. Like, there's Asta. I'm looking at it right now. We got Asta. We got Naruto. We got Goku. We got Deku. Someone who we watch destroy his body consistently to figure out how his power works. And people want to say he's gifted? Gifted with what? The ability to break his fucking fingers every time he wants to fight? Every single time? For the first 3 seasons, he was just blowing his arms off.
Yup.
That's it. If we watch him work to use it properly, and somehow he's gifted. What's the gift? Exactly.
The gift is stupidity, bro. The gift is stupidity.
There's no fucking gift. It'll be like agenda too. They'll have that one character that they like, and they'll say, nah, he did it through hard work, through other shit. Like, again, we got Goku here with genetics, and then we got Asta with hard work. Where's the consistency?
Where's the genetics too? Because if Goku was just genetics, then every fucking Saiyan would be able to, like, destroy planets like that. Like, you know what I mean? They'd be all Goku level and, like, be able to just box. Like, the Saiyans were fucking weak in terms of a warrior race. Frieza just feared all of them fighting together. But individually, bro, the average Saiyan had a power level of, like, fucking 3,000. Like, them motherfuckers was weak. And they couldn't even be fucking Frieza. Like, that shit's not... There's a reason why there's only, like, 4 Saiyans in fucking history who are, like, the strength of Goku, bro. It's just not just fucking genetics. It's stupidity people argue about. And D, let me hear what you have to say.
Yeah, and also having, like, read, like, Dragon Ball Part 1, like, I was going to make a video on this later on. I'm, like, shocked in the way that, like, Goku isn't strong, like, as strong as he is because he's a Saiyan. He's just trained way more than everybody else. Like, even, like, in the Part 1, right, like, it starts off with, like, Goku being trained from the time he was young with Grandpa Gohan. Then Goku goes on, like, a little journey with, like, Bulma. And then he like, every single time, like, during that journey, he has to fight different people, like, when he fights Yamcha for the first time, when he fights Pure for the first time, when he fights, like, the giant bull for the first time. That's all before he trains with Roshi, and then he goes into the Budokai tournament, and then there's, like, a short time skip after that, where he trains on his own, and then he has to do, like, the Red Ribbon Army, like, part, then he has to climb up that, like, giant totem pole thing, and train with, like, the cat on the top of that totem pole. And then there's another time skip where he trains on his own, and then he does another Budokai tournament, and then he trains with Roshi again, and then he trains, like, with Kami, like, in, like, realm of, like, of the gods. Like, Goku's trained, like, had so many training arcs, where, like, the average, like even, like, the Z fighters themselves haven't trained, like, half or as much, or even, like, a quarter as much as Goku has trained. He didn't just, like, have power by being a Saiyan.
Yep.
Because people will focus on the little things that happen, like, okay, Saiyans get naturally, because they're Saiyans as well, they get Zenkai boosts, so technically they don't have to, like, win fights to get stronger. They can just almost get killed, recover, and come back stronger. But are we watching Goku just, like, seppuku himself every day to get stronger, or are we watching him train? Because I'm pretty sure we watch him train and not just abuse his Zenkai boost consistently, or people saying, like, oh, the show wouldn't have started if Goku wasn't a Saiyan, because the second he landed, he hit his head on the capsule, and naturally, if that was a human, Goku wouldn't be a thing. But then it's like, okay, you want the show to just not start? You want there to not be a beginning? You just wanted him to fucking hit his head and die, and that's it, and there's no show whatsoever because he's a Saiyan or something?
If he was a human, I mean, he wouldn't even be on my planet to begin with, so what the fuck is
yeah, exactly. Where are we going to start?
Well, it's also, like, It's kind of just every time somebody posts that, it shows the stupidity, or it's either agenda or stupidity. It's agenda because you're trying to make somebody feel bad about their character or their favorite character, or it's stupidity because you don't know what actually like hard work versus genetics is. I see people say it about fucking Naruto all the time. You know what I mean? Naruto's not hard work. Naruto's genetics, which is kind of just like ridiculous because look at how weak he was in the beginning. Look at how hard he had to train every fucking day of his life, and look at what the Nine-Tailed Fox was doing to his like chakra control beforehand. They literally talk about it over and over and over again, and for him to gain chakra control, like he had to fight the Nine-Tailed Fox and learn it for himself. Like, and when he was younger, like he was naturally battle gifted, sure, but like he wasn't the brightest person ever. He gains that as the show goes on, like immensely through his battle prowess. Like, and he had to figure that shit out for himself, bro. And you're turning around and saying it was genetics?
Yeah.
Are you fucking stupid? Did you watch the same show that I did? Ichigo too. Yes, Ichigo has fucking genetics of all these people inside of him. Sure.
Every human known to
However,
man.
look at
race.
fucking Ichigo's train. Look at how he trains. Look at how he trained before Aizen. Dude had to lock himself away in a space where time fucking flowed differently and train for months on end. And he came out with the fucking full ass head of hair because he was in there for so fucking long in order to train himself on how to use the final Getsuga Tensho. Like,
And what's crazy is that people are like, oh, well, like, Ichigo is just that strong because, like, he's a hybrid. So is Ginjo Kugo. Like, what the fuck?
yeah, exactly. It's legitimately just people being stupid. And it's all that, like, all the embassies, you could say that. If one of them's talented or only talented, then the rest of them are only talented. Because you're talking about a shonen anime. Obviously, they're going to have something that sets them apart from everybody else. Most of the time, if not all the time, that thing in the beginning is said, like is going to hold them back. Luffy's fruit holds him back. At the beginning, it held him back. It was just a bum-ass rubber fruit that everybody said was a bum-ass devil fruit. And he had to, from the time he was a literal child, figure out fighting bears and wolves and all that in the forest how to actually use it. And then he didn't have hockey, and then he had to train and tell his crew, we have to split or we will die for 2 years in order to use hockey, after that. The shit he had to do in order to gain and go to Gear 5. The shit Naruto had to do in order to unlock his Link mode with Kurama and learn how to do that chakra. The shit that Ichigo had to do in order to reach his final fucking state for the end of that Bleach manga. Like, it's just, y'all gotta read the fucking actual source material that you're talking about before you spout some fucking nonsense. And I'm so sick and tired of people just having dumbass fucking takes, bro.
It's all about what they make of it. That's why I made the comparison to like giving a character a piece of shit as something because they're getting something like, again, Luffy and Naruto getting something that we're told in the beginning, if anything, is a detriment. It is worse for them to have these in the beginning, and then they have to work to make it good. They are given shit, and they work to make the shit they were given become absolutely fucking goated. But because they were given something, no matter how not beneficial it was, it just automatically is talent or genetics or gifted, completely ignoring the entire part of working to make what you got good in the first place.
What's crazy is that we call people, like, as like a joke, TikTok readers, but a lot of these people are in their own the TikTok readers. Like, not even like as a joke, like they are like dead ass, like
TikTok what?
TikTok readers. Like, TikTok videos.
Like YouTube Shorts watchers.
Like, genuinely, like, cause like, I'm not even like the most like knowledgeable person about One Piece, but like, I made a video about the Holy Knights. Someone in my comments dead said, my theory is that Gunko is Bonnie's real mom. You can't tell me that, like, you can't tell me that you're not a TikTok reader, because what is that?
So where'd you get that from?
Gunko's Bonnie's real mom, you dumbass. Nah, do you want to know a fuck theory I fucking saw about fucking Bonnie, though, straight up? This shit might actually happen, that Shamrock is Bonnie's real father. Because you know what happened to fucking Ginny when she was fucking...
Right.
And think about the ages of the two characters. Think about Shamrock and where he came from. That shit would be fucked up. That's some shit that would be deeply, like, to next level fucked up. Kuma revenge type shit. But again, in order to make a theory...
Yeah, it's connecting pieces at least.
Yes, it's connecting actual pieces and knowing, like things that would not clash with each other of a plot. Like, I don't know, Bonnie has a real mother. Like, or stupid ass shit. Or, like, people's stupid ass theories about Luffy's mother or something like that. Like, it's just like... Theories aren't for everybody. If you read a couple of pages off TikTok, you're better off not making theories about what you're viewing. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna kind of come off as fucking stupid, bro. Like,
I mean, they're not. I haven't heard a lot of good theories.
Like,
I mean,
I think what's crazy is that even if you're right, you're still stupid because it's not like you just like from anything else and just want that to be true. Like,
you
you're
just guessed it. So even if you're right, you're stupid.
even if you're right, you're fucking dumb. Or some like dumb bitches in my comments. Every time I make a video about Blackbeard, Blackbeard's not that important. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. What do you mean Blackbeard's not that important? If Blackbeard's not that important, then in my opinion, the whole fucking show's a waste. Because why build that up? Why build that up? Pay attention to what Blackbeard does in parallel to Luffy. You're telling me he's not fucking important? It's like you guys just kind of don't listen. You don't like. Or when people tell me Sanji's the true number 4 of the Straw Hats, like he's that. Like you saw the scene where he has the 4th highest bounty on the Straw Hats, and then you called him the 4th strongest Straw Hat. You did not watch anything. You did not watch who they all fought on Wano. You did not watch anything before that. You have not seen Sanji always be the fucking. You did not see him be called the one of the wings of the motherfucking Pirate King, bitch. There's 2 wings. 2 wings. The monster trio, bitch. Jinbei's not involved in that shit because he's not stronger than Sanji. Don't come at me with no fucking bullshit. It's just stupidity. I fucking hate TikTok readers, bro.
Is there something that could happen and then you completely drop the shit?
What happened?
So maybe the reason why Jinbei has a higher bounty is because he's been a pirate for longer. Like,
or
Yeah,
he
he's
was a
just been around.
fucking warlord.
right?
Oh my god, bro. Or maybe a warlord of the sea was a captain with his own crew? That's crazy to me.
Is there a theory or something that has happened where if it were to come true, you'd completely drop the fucking show and the manga? Where you're like, if this happened, it's genuinely like it ruins stuff? Like it would make no sense or like kill your
Luffy's
vibe.
mom. If that bullshit is
come
true,
down on the One Piece verse, if aliens come down on the One Piece verse, Burns said, "Yo, Burns is like, if aliens come down on the One Piece verse, you know this motherfucker's gonna be glazing it in 200 chapters."
I'm bullying the fuck out of you if there's aliens in One Piece.
If aliens come down,
one alien, and you're done. And you're
aliens-
done. 10
if
stitches.
it turned out, if Emu's like actually
back.
up in an alien, bro, like that legitimately would piss me off. Just because I do understand there's a race of people on the moon that's totally fucking different from me than aliens coming from like another fucking galaxy and like settling on Earth, and that's where Emu was, bro. Stop, bro. Stop, because I genuinely would never watch anime again. I don't think you guys understand. If One Piece ends badly, I'm going into a hidey hole. I'm never watching anime. I'm never consuming
taking
media.
live action side. Live action's
I'm
gonna be better.
taking live action side, bro. It can't have a bad ending. I refuse to believe that. I'm living in my own delusion that it's going to be the greatest ending ever created, because if it's anything less, I will legitimately never recover. I will never recover.
Anything less than perfection.
I hope the way that this man knows how to connect dots, and the way that this man has shown us, like, how well he connects history, lore, and all the islands to one singular plot point, that has had this ending actually planned out since the beginning, like he said. If it's bad, I will stop being a One Piece fan. I will stop being an anime fan. I'm coming over to the Naruto side, and then me and Burns will just be fucking Naruto creators for the rest of our lives. And that's just basically
For the rest
what
of
we have to
eternity.
fucking say. For the
But
rest
I
of
think it's very unlikely they will have a bad ending because one, I don't think they're going to try to force a sequel. So there's that.
Two
And then
piece.
on top of that, I also think that like something that the people don't realize is that like Oda has extensive experience writing endings because every single arc is like a mini story. Right? So like, every single time in arc resolve, that's him practicing writing an ending. So like, it's not like it's going to be his like first time.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Speaking of endings, segue. Shit, we're at an hour, or we're like a minute before an hour. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to Triple Nexus Podcast. I think this is episode 6. God damn, we've been almost doing this for like 2 months now. That's crazy.
2 months.
That's crazy. I hope you guys tune in next week. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. Hit us all up on TikTok. You know, if you're here from TikTok already. Hit that subscribe button. We're at 800, bro. 200 away from 1,000. Damn, listen to him, bitch.
God
All right, peace out,
damn.
all of you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Take care. We'll see you next week.